Hey everybody! So as some of you know, I was actually supposed to do the PCT last year in 2017, but due to circumstances outside of my control, I had to actually postpone it for 1 year, and it was such a hard decision at the time, but actually it ended up working out amazing, and I'm so glad that I'm going this year. If you're interested in those reasons of why I had to postpone it, I will link that video up here. You're welcome to go check it out where I explain everything. But previously, last year, before I did what I thought was going to be my through hike, I made a video that kind of turned out to be like a Thru-Hiker Tag that I created. Basically just the most common questions that I was getting about through hiking from basically the common public. And I have no doubt that most other through hikers, whether it's for the PCT or AT or long section hikes, you probably get a lot of the same questions. So I went back and I rewatched that video, and some of my answers are very similar and some of them are totally different. So I thought it'd be kind of fun, since it's been over a year since I made that video, to re-answer those questions for you and my reasons of why I'm doing a through hike. These questions are valid for PCT through hikers, AT, CDT, any kind of long distance through hike or section hike. So I invite you to take these questions. I will put them down in the description bar below. Take them and create your own through hiker video. You can either share it with other YouTubers or share it with all the people in your life that are like, what is a through hike? Please tag me so that I can come and watch your video as well. I'd love to see what you have to say as well. So without further ado, this is the Thru-Hiker Tag. Question number 1 is, what is a through hike? A through hike is a long distance hike. It can take anywhere from weeks to months, but a through hike is just doing the entire trail in one go. You're carrying all your supplies on your back. You have a tent, you're camping out, you have a sleeping bag, you're carrying all your food, water, all your provisions in order to survive, and you're also going into town every few days to resupply on your food. Question number 2 is, why would you want to do that? Well, the easiest answer is because I can. But every single through hiker is going to have a different reason. I have a list that's on my phone of all my reasons, which I actually read out in my previous video. I'm not going to read out all those, although most of those are still very valid to my hike this year. I think there's 3 that are really top for me. So number 1 is to have a Lord of the Rings-esque style adventure. 2 is to see the beauty of God's creation firsthand, not just see it in pictures, but to be there living it. And number 3, this one has become really important to me, and that is to take this time to think about my future. I've been planning this through hike for 3 years and a through hike type adventure for almost 15 years. So this is a huge dream of mine. And I've been just planning my life up to this point for so long that once it's over, I'm kind of worried about what I'm gonna do next. I'm gonna take this time to really think, talk to God, figure out what I want to do with my life after the PCT. So I encourage you, if you are a through hiker, to write down your motivations and your goals, because so much of the through hike is mental, and if you're having a bad day and you're thinking about quitting, you can refer back to your dreams and why you're there. Question number 3 is, why the PCT? Obviously you can change this to why the AT, why the CDT, why the whatever trail, but for me, I'm doing the PCT. I want to do the PCT for so many different reasons. I absolutely love the West Coast, totally a West Coast, Best Coast kind of person. And I was very familiar with the AT, which I'm interested in doing someday, but for some reason, when I heard about the PCT, it's like all the light bulbs turned on. I decided to do the PCT pre the wild explosion. So one of the reasons I really wanted to do the PCT was at that time, it wasn't quite as crowded or as popular as the AT. Now, fast forward a few years, they're pretty much the same amount of people, which is not a big deal at all. I'm really excited to meet so many incredible people as well. But the PCT it ticked off basically all the boxes of everything that I wanted out of a through hike. Number 4, a very common question is, are you scared? I am really not that scared. I probably should be more scared, but I feel like I've done so much research for so many years on this trail and prepping for this trail that even though I probably still should be more scared than I am, I do feel very, very prepared. And I'm kind of pre-hike, I'm kind of picturing everything to be really, really bad. I'm not romanticizing things at all. I'm really trying to be an ultra realist. So actually when I get out there, hopefully it's not gonna be as bad as I'm picturing. So I'm really not that scared. I'm not a very fearful person at all. I used to be. I lived my life in fear and I hated it. So then I completely changed in one day of my life. That's a story for another time. But ever since I have stopped living my life in fear, it has been so much better. And so I don't see the point of sitting here in fear over, you know, a potential rattlesnake or hypothermia or getting lost, because I have prepared myself, so hopefully none of that will happen, and if it does, I do know how to handle those situations. Number 5 is, what are you most excited for? I am excited for so many things. Oh my goodness. I'm really, really excited to see some very specific places along the trail, like going back into Yosemite. I've been to Yosemite one day of my entire life and it was one of the best days ever. So I'm really excited to be back there and I hope to spend a couple days exploring Yosemite. I'm excited to see Crater Lake and Tunnel Falls, and there's so many places in Oregon and Washington that I'm unfamiliar with. So I'm so excited to just kind of stumble upon amazing things. I feel like when I get to Oregon and Washington, it's gonna blow my mind because I'm really not gonna be super prepared for what's to come. Number 6 is, what are you nervous about? I am nervous about losing toenails. Oh my gosh, I'm so nervous about that. It probably will happen, but I really don't want it to. I'm gonna try and prevent that as much as I can, but that just makes me want to hurl. Ugh. I really don't want that to happen. I'm also nervous about big spiders in the desert. Not excited about that either. And number 7, an extremely common question, most likely for the ladies out there, but maybe even the gentlemen. But number 7 is, are you going alone? This answer has changed because when I was supposed to go last year, I was gonna go alone and I was perfectly fine with that. So many people go alone, I wasn't nervous. But since I had to postpone it, one of my very good friends who was a fellow teacher in Indonesia, she was like right there with me when I had to decide to postpone it a year, and it was like either that day or a few days later, she was like, you know what, that sounds really interesting, and since you're postponing it, I might want to join. And so she has decided to join, so I'm really excited that I actually have a friend who's going with me. Neither of us have a whole lot of backpacking experience, but it'll still be a little bit nice to have a friend there if, you know, we need to bounce ideas off of each other or something like that. So I'm really excited that I'm gonna have a friend, although if you do decide that you need to go alone just to do this amazing adventure, totally do it. You'll meet people immediately. And most people do start alone, so don't feel like you're in a minority or anything like that. So there you go. Those are the 7 questions that I most commonly get about this thru hike that I'm going on. Let me know if you have any other questions that you get. And again, I would love for you to do this tag as well. So take the questions, answer them yourselves, let me know so I can go and watch your video, and you're welcome to add whatever questions you want as well. But this is the Thru-Hiker Tag, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.